While you're writing that, I'm going to go over the overview a bit. So icebreaker, 7 interesting things. We're going to go into a guided meditation for mindfulness. So it's like mindful eating. So we're going to have candy. I don't know if anybody has dietary restrictions. If you can't eat gelatin or something like that. A meditation. Use poetry for self-understanding and emotion regulation. And we have some bonus. So we're going to use the books to engage some dialogue or role play. I am an author, as you see. I have 5 books in total. I am 25. I am at UB for mental health counseling. I graduate on the 16th, actually. I have books in like poetry, short stories, dialogues, and so on. I do ITF Taekwondo, so I'm a black belt. This is my first degree black belt. But I'm on my second degree now. But this is it's got some wear and tear. I'm not gonna have you touch it. Unwashed, sweaty, rain, and all this other stuff. But so I've been doing that for roughly a little over 5 years. And I could show you some stuff if you want. But that's interesting stuff about me. You were done first. 7 interesting things. What you got?
Currently taking Spanish. Graduating on May 17th from Book State with my social work degree.
Yep.
I used to be an avid reader, but I think I got burnt out on books now, so I listen to audio books now. But I can't get hit with certain voices.
School do that to you. Yeah.
I have 2 dogs and 4 children. I have never seen Niagara Falls. Never been on a Made of the Mist. And I'm a lifelong resident of Buffalo.
Okay.
I can't dance, can't play basketball. I'm not gonna say why that's interesting. People just swear because I'm black I can dance and I can play basketball. Can't do either.
I find the Buffalo and Niagara Falls thing interesting. Is it water?
No, it's just like as I aged and got older and like never went like on the school field trips as a kid and stuff, and like as I got older, it's like it just don't interest me no more. It's like when my family come from out of town, they be like, "Take us to go see the falls," and I'll be like, "Y'all can go."
Yeah.
I've been alright.
Made of the Mist, it's awesome. I got it on my home screen. Just go side underneath the waterfall, enjoy it. Yeah, that'd be a good summer day. A hot summer day. Do it on a hot summer day because it's a little cold. Yeah. Pick a hot day. 7 interesting things. Who else? Are you guys done over there? Yeah, 7 interesting things.
I like shoes. My favorite color is black. I like to wear Nike. I like mac and cheese. I'm 15. I want to be a psychologist. I'm a freshman. I like Chipotle and I like to read.
I do hair. My real hair is red. I do nails. I made it to high school. I like money. I like shoes, and I speak a little bit of Spanish.
Good. All right. Either one of you next. Go ahead.
I go. Sure. Unless you want to go.
Doesn't matter.
More interesting.
Hardly. All right. I was an accountant, then a party decorator, then a teacher, and now I'm a restorative practitioner.
All over the place.
I make amazing Haitian food. I love to draw and write, which led me to writing and drawing a children's book, which is very popular with my students, but I never even tried to get it published. I am determined to get my motorcycle license, but I either keep getting injured or something happens when I'm supposed to. My kids keep saying 3 strikes you're out, but whatever. I've had students live with me when they needed to, and I'd love to sing, but I cannot do that.
I see. Yeah, that's loaded. It's beautiful. Yeah. All right, 7 interesting things.
Let's see. My husband and I have been together for 10 years, and we're college sweethearts. I have a dog who is a big goofball, and he loves spending time outside together. I have one younger brother, and he's only a year and a half younger than me. We're basically the same person. I used to practice Kung Fu, I love to read. I've been skydiving 3 times, and my husband and I fixed up our house. We basically gutted it and worked on pretty much everything we could ourselves, and moved in the fall.
Good. I want to skydive. I got to find the right place. We'll talk after.
Okay.
But all right, so I got a few mindful practice exercises that you can take home with you whenever you're in need. And so again, I don't know if you guys have dietary restrictions, but gelatin, it's gluten-free. High chews. You got teeth that are gonna pull out if you chew on something. Here, I'll give you.
Okay.
I'd advise you be a little cautious with chewing. But yeah, these are good. So again, I'm giving you these for mindful practice. And at the heart of it, we're going to essentially practice being in the moment, not thinking about the past, not thinking about the future, but just fixated on what we are doing. All right, so open it up. Quite obvious, step 1. Now you're going to hold it. This is usually used for raisins. I'll give you a minute to open it. Tough to open. I'm a pro now. Oh, you already got candy. That's okay. All right, so you're going to take the candy, hold it in your palm or in between your fingers. You're going to imagine that this dropped from Mars. You're infatuated with the candy. You've never seen this before. Now you're going to observe it. You're going to take time to focus on it. Look at the grooves and take careful care of the attention of it. Examine the highlights, the way the light shines on it, the dark areas, the folds and ridges, and any uneven parts. Touch it with your fingers. Explore the texture of it. Hold it with your eyes closed. You can enhance your sensation of touch. Now bring it to your nose. Smell it. So what does it smell like? Breathe it in. Take the aroma, the smell, the fragrance of it as it arises. And as you do this, notice the interesting things that happen in your mouth or your stomach. Are you getting hungrier? Does this make your mouth water as you smell it? Now slowly place this candy on your lips. Notice how your hands and arm know exactly where to go. Now gently place it into your mouth without chewing. No chewing yet. Notice how it gets into your mouth in the first place. Spend a few moments focusing on the sensation of having this in your mouth. Explore it with your tongue. Play around with it a little bit. So when you're ready, prepare to chew. So chew up the candy. Notice how and where it needs to be chewed. Then very consciously take 1 or 2 bites into it. Notice what happens in the aftermath. Place close attention to any waves of taste that come from it as you continue to chew. Notice, without swallowing, notice the bare sensation of the taste and the texture in your mouth and how these may change over time. Moment by moment, also pay attention to any changes in the candy itself. Swallowing. When you're ready to swallow the candy, see if you can first notice the urge to swallow as it comes up, so that even you're experiencing consciously thinking about swallowing before you actually do so. And finally, see if you can follow what is left of the candy going down into your stomach. Notice how your body as a whole is feeling after you've completed the exercise. What do you think?
I was just picturing how would this be if I did it with a piece of steak.
That was real.
Or like no, because like you laughing, Zariah. I was there thinking like I was really surprised how like my hand knew exactly where to go with my eyes closed, and then like it was like an intimate moment. Like I was really enjoying this candy. Like I I mean, think like I appreciate this candy. Like it's special. And I eat high chews all the time at the office. I just chew them. I never thought of them as like, we got flavors. There's levels to this candy. Like,
Yeah.
it was like,
Yeah.
I got the white, then I got the yellow. I was like, oh.
Good. Anybody else? What did you think of it?
I felt the
Yeah.
same thing because I love these. These are my favorite. And it tasted sweeter. It was like a more intense flavor by
Yeah.
doing it this way.
Yeah.
What do you think of this steak? This will highlight flavors of the steak.
I was thinking ice cream. I don't really want to play with my ice cream though, but
Yeah. No, I mean, you can apply this to literally everything. Yeah. You can apply it to literally everything. What do you think?
I've been having conversations about mindful eating a lot actually. The things we talked about was like, like there's all this stuff and advice about like how to eat healthy and
Yeah.
All that stuff, and there's validity to it and stuff, but part of it is also like we often eat so fast, right?
Yes.
Like that we're not paying attention, and so just like actually enjoying your food, you taste it more, you appreciate it more, which I think, like food is something we're in relationship with, so it helps bring that to the forefront, and also like it forces you to listen to your body a little bit more too.
Yeah. The whole point of this exercise, you guys touched on it in its entirety. But when you focus on the experience, the taste, the textures, and the smells, and all this stuff. But when you are focusing on what you're eating, doing exactly what we just did, you can use this as an exercise when you're stressed. When you got anxiousness about exams, or if you're worrying about bills and all this other stuff, house stuff, a new career when you're like 80. So it's taking this in, being in the moment. I'd imagine that you weren't thinking about much else except for what was happening in your hands and when you were chewing and all this other, Right, so that's mindfulness. So we can write this down because I want to give you these things. Mindful eating. Body scanning exercises. It's a little funky if you haven't done it before. But prior to that, we're going to do some breathing exercises. Body scan exercises. Eyes open or closed. Just take a second to, it's going to be a little funny. It's going to feel a little weird. But we're going to do these things. But prior to that, we're going to practice breathing. I'm going to run through these numbers. You're going to inhale, and you're going to exhale on a release. In between the inhale and exhale, I'm going to say relax, and you're just going to fall into a deeper state of relaxation. Just breathe a little bit more. Relax your body a little bit more. We're going to do it a few times. Take in as much air as you can through your stomach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Relax. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Come back to us. Now we're going to add in the body scan portion of it. So we're going to put our arms out like this. Clutch your hands up really tight. Hold it tight. Hold it tight. Arms out like this. Pause for a second. Where we come from, we don't typically do this stuff, right? We're kind of like, how's this going to help me? How's this going to work? And, just kind of like, is it going to do anything for me? Give it a try. Just focus. I've been where you've been. I understand it. We don't typically do this stuff. It's a little foreign to us. And it's like, what are we doing? How's this going to help? I'll tell you right after. Hold your hands up. Please squeeze as hard as you can. Close your eyes, are open. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Relax, let go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. This is where it gets a little funny. Hold your legs out. I got mine in the chair. Hold on. Hold your legs out. touch your toes. Now really try to put that pressure on your feet to touch your toes. Oh no, well with your feet. Touch your toes with your feet. Touch your toes, touch your toes. Really hold them out. Hold them up, hold them up, hold them up. 1, 2, 3. You should really feel a strain. 4, 5, 6, 7. Relax. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do it again. Hold your toes out. You want to really feel that strain in your legs. Have your toes touch like this. Have your toes touch like this. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a new one. It's gonna look a little funny. You ever seen like samurai masks and stuff like that? When they just look like, so try to put the corner of your mouth down, lip up, like this. It's gonna look a little funny. I know, it's gonna be funny. Corner down, middle up. Really put pressure on there. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now keep that same mouth posture. Bring your eyebrows together. You look like this. So if you ever seen Mario and like those stone droppy things, corner down, middle up, eyebrows together, mean face. Eyes open or closed, that's up to you. So you're gonna kind of look like like this. But keep it really tight. We're gonna tighten up your face. Again, it's gonna be funny, but just do it. Just do it. Make your face. Don't worry about anybody looking at you. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. We're going to be a star. And now you're going to tense up everything. You're going to tense up everything. Tense up everything. Your arms, your legs, you're just going to be like, just tightening up everything you have. Straight out, tense it. Breathe in as much as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. You're going to be a starfish. And I'll tell you the importance of this afterwards. But just do it. Just arms out, legs out, tense it, straighten it as much as you can. You should be really tired after this. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So why did I have you do that? Now, muscle relaxation is for relieving tension and stress in those moments you really need it. Again, this is about emotion regulation and mindfulness. As I was counting, imagine again, you weren't thinking about the past or present. You're staying in the moment. You know, whatever is not bothering you, that's what it's about. But also with muscle relaxation, you're like tensing up everything really strongly, right? And then eventually you just let go. So you build that pressure in and then you release, you get much further relaxation from it. So again, we're trying to combat the negative thoughts that continuously roam into our minds. We're trying to, forget about things that are bothering us. And this is why we're doing these exercises. And so I have a bit of talking points for you. Again, it would have been on the screen. So when we have things stressing us out, we can choose to engage or not engage. Your mother wants you to do the dishes. Your brother or sister's bothering you. Your kids are getting on your nerves. You got problems with your spouse. And part of emotion regulation is choosing to engage the problem, what will cause you anxiety, anger, worry, sadness, or you can choose not to. Easier said than done in some situations, but that's the way we can emotion regulate. And now when we take another concept called situation modification, you're going to change the environment to make the emotion much more manageable. So do you guys have like lights in your room, those LED lights that go around, or at least you've seen them? So some people like the color and they put that on to help them kind of ease themselves. Some people like incense, some people like candles, some people like to spray Febreze or fragrances and things like that. And that helps also engage our senses so that when we're bothered with whatever we are bothered with, it's a little more easy to kind of regulate ourselves and keep ourselves in a groove. Some people like cologne, some people like perfume. That could be a thing too. Or, for instance, like playing sounds. It forms a different way of thinking when you have some background noise. So I had the water going a second ago. That kind of helps us create some sound so that it's kind of like keeps our mind kind of leveled and really focused. If you like artwork or calming paintings, that can help too. So find that thing that you can put in. So write down situation modification. Situation modification. Situation modification. What are you going to do to your environment so that it's easier for you to deal with the emotional tolls of different things? It could be smells, whatever you like. It could be paintings or artwork if you're like watching certain artistic things, external sounds, background noises. Attention. So managing reactivity through internal or external suppression, through mindfulness. And that's kind of what we practiced already. So it's like taking in the moment and being there. Kind of already got that. We went through it already. Suppression, a big pain point. So suppression means, have you seen Thunderbolt, the movie? Oh, okay. No, it's a superhero movie. So it recently came out. Thunderbolt. So Thunderbolt, he was a guy who had a rough life, drugs and family issues, domestic violence, and he was like, how do you deal with emotions? He was asking this other character, and she was like, he just shove it down, just hold it in, just suppress it. But suppression in the moment can help. The problem with suppression is that if you take the example of a beach ball, you guys ever been inside of a pool, you try to hold the ball down, it's hard to do that. Lower you go, the harder it is to control, and eventually it pops up. So suppression is when we're trying to take our emotions, take our thoughts, and just tuck them away. But then eventually, people just explode. We've probably seen this in our parents. We've probably seen it in our relatives. We've probably seen it in a myriad of ways where kind of just holding it in and not releasing it in any way is kind of just going to lead us to a bad route of dealing with things. But what suppression also does, where we want to hide our emotions, we want to get rid of them, we want to push them away, but it degrades our memory of a particular event of whatever happened when we're too busy trying to think about not thinking about something or not worrying about whatever. I take the case of domestic violence sometimes. That can degrade the memory. If somebody's really trying to hold it in, just don't hold it in. That's what I'm talking about. Because it ruins your thought process and it hurts your memory when you do that. And also it leads to like negative coping mechanisms. So people that tend to hold things in also tend to engage substances because you're trying to keep that beach ball down and keep from popping up. People revert to, weed and psychedelics and all this other stuff, which I'm not here to talk about that. You're on Discord, but again, I know that people engage in it. It's just that we got to find ways to, healthier ways to express, healthier ways to release, because that can also lead to negative consequences, especially with the brain. Next one is appraisal. How can you take a situation that is perceivably negative and turn it into something positive? I missed the bus. I had to walk to school, and I was tired when I got there. I was a little sweaty. I had homeroom at like 9:15 a.m., so I was kind of just like over it at that point. And then you get a Hallmark pass when you go late, so you had to have detention after that. When we appraise something, we take a reconceptualization, a different thought process of how that situation is. I had to walk to school at 9 a.m. I got to see the birds. I got to enjoy warm weather. I got to enjoy, just time to myself to really think and be away from everybody else and just walk my own path and kind of just be self-absorbed in my own life without having to worry about anything else. So how can you make those bad situations and find the good in them, but also focus on that so it's not as harmful to you when we talk about emotions? Response modification, focusing on targeting one or more experiential, behavioral, or psychological components of an activated emotional response to promote change. Okay, all that jargon to say, how can we take a situation and respond to it in a different way so that it's a little more helpful than harmful? And writing is one of those ways. And through writing, we can use poetry, we can use dialogue, do anything. We could draw, we could paint, we could make music, we can do all sorts of things to change our response to a negative event. So not resorting to the negative and bad things that happen. Emotion regulation is good, but the mature thing is emotion integration. So emotion integration is taking in the event that happened. We're taking in how we felt. How do we get to that feeling based on that event? And, moving forward from there, what does it look like to understand how we got to that point emotionally? How can we reconceptualize things to where it's not so harmful? And then, when those events happen and when we're feeling that emotion within, what is our reaction to our emotions? Did we yell at somebody? Did we hit somebody? Did we go and take a walk? Did we do this, that, and third? So I want to blend the two and also help understand the distinction. Emotion regulation is you're in the moment. How do you kind of regulate yourself to make sure that you're not going off the rails? Emotion integration is I have this time to sit alone and eventually, how did I get that emotion? What really caused it? And then how do I look at it in a way that I learn from it? How can I adjust myself so I'm not so boggled down by troubles and all this other stuff? We have the book Conversations You Need. Pick that up. Conversations You Need. Conversations You Need. So there are quotes in there. I'm going to read off a quote I took from there. But one quote is, think too much and you'll pause as if you're bitten by a slow loris. Do nothing and you might as well have been bitten by a saw-scaled viper. So a slow loris, I learned in my education, they're like little, you ever seen little bears? They're kind of like that. When they bite you, they have a venom that kind of paralyzes, and that saliva seeps in. It's like you can't move your hand for a little while, but it'll come back. And a saw-scaled viper is, you get bit by that, then it's over. You're dead. There might be some antidotes, but all that. Second quote, it is okay to pick up small stones. It is okay if it took a little longer to search and stack them. So you're picking up small stones now. You're picking up those little skills. But it's okay to have those small things and start small, but you'll build eventually and you can have something greater from it. I want you to make your own mantra and make your own positive affirmation. I want you to make your own mantra, make your own positive affirmation. So based on the book, well, take a look inside. There are quotes in there, and I want you to write down your own quote. Make your own quote. Make something you can put for your everyday life. Make something that can help you shift your perspective on troubles, dealing with hardship, and so on. What's that hard-hitting bar you're going to spit every time you got something bothering you? Someone else bothering you. If someone else is in trouble, what will you tell them to help them get through a rough patch? Find your own mantra, positive affirmation. And I'll challenge you to make about 3, and then we'll all share it. My third one is, complaining is like walking backwards. Complaining is like walking backwards. Louder. Control you and not anything else. That's a very beautiful one. Because we often forget that we we don't have control over everything, and we want to kind of like just grab at it. But when we understand that we are in control of ourselves only, or that we have power over certain things and not others, it can relieve some of the burden that we have. All right, what's your second one? Number 2.
Your emotions are your own and not anybody else's.
Good, good. Explain that.
Other people, you can't blame other people for your emotions or how you control them.
I dig it, I dig it. What's the third one?
Love you and love whoever else loves you too.
Awesome. Where'd that come from? If you're comfortable with sharing.
So I think. So what I think.
Yeah. Easy. Yeah. All right, you next. What you got? Number 1. Louder, louder.
Don't overthink, keep calm, and don't crash out.
Don't overthink, keep calm, and don't crash out. Where did that come from?
It just comes from myself that just, I don't know. I don't know.
You overthink,
I overthink a lot.
you get a little anxious, and you get a little worried, angry or sad, depending on the situation. Anxious, probably. And then the end result is you're ready to fight somebody or fight yourself, break something, curse somebody out, all that good stuff. Number two.
For me, since I'm like a crybaby, I would be like, stay calm and don't cry and don't stress.
Good.
And then the other one is love yourself no matter what nobody else says.
Love yourself no matter what anybody else says. Good. Where did that come from?
From experience. I used to love people for me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
I'll do first this time.
I'll have you do rock, paper, scissors next time.
Oh, I want to play rock, paper, scissors with you.
All right, let's have it. No, let's have it. All right. First one gets the first mantra.
Sorry, Deb.
1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. All right. You were destined.
You are enough.
You are enough. Awesome. Awesome. Where did that come from?
I feel like nothing. I often have in my life felt at various points like I just can't do enough.
Yeah. All right, guys, pay attention. Second one, number 2.
You are the strength of your ancestors.
Where did that come from?
Short version. My mom is indigenous and was adopted into a family that was not, and grew up being told that she wasn't, and has struggled a lot. And we've been able to reconnect with our heritage, and yeah, I've always felt it, and now I know that part of her strength comes from that, and my strength is too.
Yeah. Number 3.
I didn't finish it. But there is enough love in the world for everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Want to share or you want to pass it off?
I think I don't know. I think about competing for attention. That's a survival skill, right? To
Yeah.
compete for attention. So I think it's a good reminder that even if it doesn't feel like it all the time, there actually is enough love in the world, and sometimes you just you're not in the right places.
Yeah. Good. All right, last but not least.
Actually, I wrote down a couple here, but one I'm definitely going to be using because
Yeah.
it's very much in alignment with the way I was as a teacher. When others instill the youth with doubt, be the one to help them see the stars.
Yes.
So the school that I was in was a very small school that was created for an alternate, kind of as an alternative middle school.
Yeah.
With all boys, Kensington and Bailey area. And my first doctor just graduated on Friday, so I'm super stoked.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, what I would hear out of their mouths. I taught English, and I used to do this lesson on stereotypes.
Yes.
And I would write black, Hispanic, Asian, white.
Yeah.
And they had to write down the top 3 things that came down for each one.
Yeah.
I was one of 3 people who were white in the entire building, not one white student.
Mhm.
Every single time, black. Gangs, barbecue, drugs.
Yep.
Hispanic, tacos, nap time, and late. Asian, 10-minute, fried rice, and smart.
Yep.
And white people, rich, have pools, and help.
Yeah. Those are the stereotypes that the students came up with. Yeah.
And they wrote all that down. And it always intrigued me.
Mhm.
And I said, why are you guys so negative about yourself? Why is it that when you were talking about your people, your this made-up race, you know, because we know race is not real.
Yes.
Why do you only write down negative things? And they said, Miss, because, you know, and they had to wear a tie and everything to school, and they say, I don't normally get dressed until after I'm on the bus because people say, oh, you're trying to be white? And I said, oh my, that's my biggest pet peeve. Who told you that? Oh, my mom said it. I said, your mom didn't say it. And then I had one of the kids live with me, and she took him home because she said he was turning too white because he was doing well in school. And that still breaks my heart to this day.
Yeah.
And I would always say, why is white associated with success and black is not? And it's because people tell them that there's nothing outside of their little neighborhood, and there's so much more. And I always try to tell them that you guys are so much more than the crap that you're being fed. So time to see it.
Absolutely.
So that's why I love that one. It really hit me. And then one of the things that we say frequently is listen, understand, not to respond.
Yes.
And then linked up with that one is respond, don't react unless you're in danger.
Respond, don't react unless you're in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Break that one down. Yeah.
Write that one down?
Yeah. No, break it down. Break it
break
down.
down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, let's say somebody's telling me about a problem that they're having.
Yeah.
If I just automatically react to it, I'm doing for them. If I respond, I'm helping them do for them. You know the old verse, if you teach a man to fish, feed him for a day. Or no, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for life.
Yes.
To me, responding is helping break it down, chunk it down. How can you fix this? Questioning. It's not for me to fix. I'm kind of a control freak, so that was a lot. But if you're in danger, like there are certain times when I'm going to have to scream at you and say, get the hell out of the building, it's burning.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what I mean.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you all for sharing. We're nearing the end of this particular workshop, and then I have part 2 right after this, but we're going to take a break in between. I'm going to leave it up to you. We can do role play, or we can use conversations you need and kind of create a dialogue between each other reading off. Role play, dialogue.
Have to go with the youth.
What do you think over there? Role play or dialogue? Role play or dialogue? Dialogue. Okay. Open the book up, conversations you need, page 97. Or what do you think? Criticism, gratitude, uncertainty, overcoming fear, finding vulnerability. Which one? What speaks to you? Because we're going to go to the page right after. Uncertainty. We got one for uncertainty. Uncertainty. Oh, don't go with the flow. You got to.
I like either that one or resolving arguments.
Okay, we can't do that. Resolving arguments. Uncertainty. What would you like to go through? We'll do uncertainty. Okay, we got uncertainty. I got to grab a book too. So uncertainty. Who wants to read with me, or you can read amongst each other, or it's going to be out loud. We need 2 characters. 2 characters. You can join me, or you can have it amongst each other.
I want to be the one with the E.
Ebele. It's Ebele, I think, or we can just say Eb. What's your pronunciation of it? we'll do Eb. Adwin, who wants to be Adwin? Or I can take it on. It's a dialogue between two people.
I want to be the E.
I'll be it.
Hey, okay. Uncertainty, take it away. Loud and strong, loud and strong, loud and strong.
Think, what are you ordering?
I think I would try that. She's his finger on the food.
Pretend you're at a restaurant.
Shocking and looking and
Shocking and looking curiously.
shocking and looking curiously. Have you had that before?
No, but I like to try something new.
You would spend your money on that. It would take time for it to come back, and it's not like it's what it's and it is not like you can return it. You won't know if you like it or not.
Get as usual, but I want to expand on the food items I like.
He gave a you will see kind of look. I do not know.
You make the same choices out of fear and comfortability. Comfortability. You do not know what else you may like unless you explore. You will remain stagnant and rigid in your choices. And it is good, then I have succeeded. It is not like the total outfit should have been. I will know it's a good next time.
That is uncertainty. So that is a dialogue between Adwin and, I'll say Abele, but Eb. And often we go to these restaurants, often ones we've never been to before or the same one. And Adwin is he likes to explore. He likes to try new things. Eb, on the other hand, Eb is like, I don't know about that. I want to stick to what's safe. I want to try what I've always had. But there's a problem sometimes when we're pursuing different things in life with uncertainty, or we're against uncertainty. When we're against uncertainty, we can kind of remain our choices the same. Could choose the same thing, choose the same thing, choose the same thing. But Advent is showing that we're breaking the cycle of choosing the same thing. And it might be a hit or miss, but either way, we try something new, we learn something new, and we know what to avoid next time. Okay, we can try one more. Overcoming fear, or you want to resolving arguments?
Yeah, that one. Resolving arguments.
While we're looking it up, can I just tell the two of you, I think it's amazing that you're here. I know that you're kind of hesitant about this and about chilling and relaxing and stuff.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're here is huge. And it says a lot about both of you. And it shows that you are brave. And what was the topic that we just did? I'm having a brain fart.
Overcoming uncertainty.
Overcoming uncertainty, and that's kind of what you're doing. You tried something new. I'm sure you were pressured at it because we always pressure young people to do stuff. But you're here and you're doing it and you're participating even though you're pretending that you're not. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And again, I've been in your seats before, not quite exactly, but I know that even when it's not perceivably, that you're paying attention, I know that you are. I know that you're absorbing. And I know that things are new as well. I tell you to get into a little starfish thing and you're just like, what? I never did that before. Why do that? And I tell you why, but there's a purpose behind everything I'm showing. And hopefully you take these home and exercise these as you're going. Resolving arguments. Nasha, Adwin. Nasha, Adwin. Who wants to be Nasha? Who wants to be Nasha?
You can.
You want to do it again? I'll go. Do you want to go again or no?
All right.
You and I? We're up.
Sure.
Do you want to be Nasha or Adwin?
So you're the wise one of the group. I will be Nasha.
All right, resolving arguments.
How do you deal with arguments?
I've learned in my studies not to for certain reasons. I do my best to avoid it if I suspect it is coming.
Why avoid arguing?
Well, there is not much of a positive resolution on either side unless people are mature, open, and understanding. Some people seek to triumph over one another.
I do not try to bring anyone down.
That is very good, although others do not hold the same thoughts. They think they are in battle. Your words will be twisted and manipulated. They will add or delete any of your words to suit their needs. Not only that, they may be unwilling to change their mind if it suits them. They can be too dogmatic in their thoughts.
I do not know what to do.
Say what you have to say and leave it alone. If you feel like more needs to be said, then do not venture far. Let them carry on as they are. You know what you know, and that might be enough. Save it for someone else.
Even with friends and family?
It depends, but be willing to lose them in the process. I want unity in our relationships.
Edwin and Nasha talk about resolving arguments. I created these with some cultural context to how things are for some of us, but also, arguments are a slippery slope, and dealing with our family and friends is also a slippery slope. When you blend the two, it can be a little tricky. So, what do you think about it? You could agree with the text or you cannot, but I'm open to either. How do you think we should resolve arguments? Peacefully.
Or at least try.
Yeah.
Or you can try it more.
Yeah. I feel like arguments always lead to violence.
But you can try to resolve it peacefully. It's not always trying to resolve it.
Yep, at least I can say I tried not to be violent.
Try to avoid violence.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Sometimes it depends on the topic.
Mhm.
There's some arguments that are not worth having. And I have to decide if I'm the one that's just, I have to process things before I will approach it.
Yeah.
Because when I don't, my mouth just gets me into trouble. And I learned that the hard way, through experience and
Mhm.
over many, many years. But I think sometimes you're unexpectedly in an argument when you talk to someone about an issue you may have with them, and it turns into an unexpected argument, and you have to decide whether it's worth moving forward and trying to make your point, or if it's better off just walking away from it, and sometimes it's worth it.
Mhm.
Can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
Essentially, what do you think about the text? Do you agree or disagree, and what is your perspective on resolving arguments?
Yeah, I think things don't become arguments until people are unwilling to listen to each other, or there's a desire for, I feel like arguments are usually about power. They're not usually about the thing that the argument is about. And
Mhm.
so, I think we usually have a pretty good sense of if people are wanting to have a conversation about the thing or just wanting power. And so if someone wants power and I'm feeling that, if they want to feel people need to feel power for so many different reasons, right?
Yeah.
And if you're blinded by your desires for power, then we're not really going to be able to have a constructive conversation anyway. So I
Okay.
just try to end it as calmly as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love everything everybody said. It's tricky, especially when we talk about what's important to the people closest to us and the particular topics. But that's why we need to learn how to, simply have the qualities of being open-minded, not seeking to win a battle, um, just being positive and understanding, but mature as well. When you're approaching a conversation, a dialogue, and not an argument, there's a difference. A dialogue, conversation between two people, civil, getting to a resolution, as opposed to trying to prove who's right over another based on a set of premises or their own principles. And when we say dogmatic, they can be too dogmatic in their thinking. Dogmatism is to say that there's this principle. I say this exaggeratingly, but this is all there is to it. This is the way it has to be. And when people are dogmatic like that, they hold tight to these principles. It can cause some troubles. Like, we don't want to sit in stone with what we think too much because we can be wrong. But we can also understand that people have differing opinions, differing outlooks on life, differing religions, differing philosophies, and so on. And we can kind of believe what we believe, but also understand that people have their own life too. And there's more to it than what we actually have. Thoughts of Creativity King, page 16. Page 16. Page 16. And we're going to go over a goal of mine. A goal of mine is a poem I had written in high school. Well, adjusted and revamped a bit since then. But the intention with me showing this is to have you guys not only look at mine, but write your own. So what does a goal of yours look like? So I'll read it off. A goal of mine. Part of my mission is to become the greatest role model, someone your children would follow, an example any adult can admire. People deep in the holes will see greater heights. People deep in the holes will find footing to climb their way out. People will gain a vision to handle grooves to reach their way out. Everyone has their hole. Everyone has their climb. I want to become a positive influence. I'm someone you will read in the books, someone you will look at and go blind by my shine. I find that my purpose is to create a moral society, to do great things for my family and people surrounding me, to have other people follow in similar footsteps, pave a way for future generations. Hope that a cycle of great legacy continues. I want to be remembered for positive change itself. I want to be remembered for success. I want to be remembered for self-productivity. I want to be remembered for progress, a goal of mine. So we're looking at these, and I want you to make a goal of yours. So you're going to write down at the top a goal of mine, and I want you to, you can mirror the poem, you can resemble it, but make it your own. What do you want to be remembered for? What is your goal? Where do you see yourself going? What do you see yourself doing? What will you have? What will you accomplish? And this is a writing workshop tailored towards building your thought process for achieving your goals, but it's tailored towards more so entrepreneurship or whatever you want to achieve. Whenever you're ready.
I'll go first. My primary goal is to get a doctorate in psychology. That's going to be my major. 3 years when I go to college. And then another one of my goals, but it might change, is to get into Canisius. That's it.
Awesome. Awesome. Beautiful. Anyone else?
I'm gonna get rich at a big house,
Be
be a vet.
a vet?
Yeah. A veterinarian.
I wanted to too. I went to BOCES, so it's an animal science trade school. I went to Canisius for ABEC, animal behavior, ecology, and conservation, with a minor in philosophy. I was on the animal route for a little while. Life has its own way of taking it. Anybody else?
No. Go first. All right, a goal of mine. I want to travel the world, to meet new people, to live and experience different cultures, to learn from others, so that when I come home, I can share the stories, the wisdom, the knowledge, so that you will want to learn too.
Awesome. How did that spring about?
The school that I taught at was filled with different cultures and different places, and I learned more from my students and the schools that I go to, and learn more from the students than I can ever imagine that I can teach. So I'm a forever learner.
Yes. Absolutely.
In Canisius, by the way, college, as a young black man or a man of color or even a woman, you apply in by October of your senior year for the leadership program, full ride for all 4 years. It includes dorms, tuition, all your books, any travel, anything. And that's where my first doctor just came from. He graduated from UB Medical School that he got into in early. It's the leadership program. I will give you my card before we leave, and then reach out to me so that I can get to the full title of it. All right, it's only for minority students, and they do not advertise it. It's kind of from word of mouth because it's so popular. So I tell everybody.
I didn't know about it, and I went there.
You did?
Yeah. I graduated in 22.
Went there?
No. I know ULC. I know HEOP. I didn't know that. That's new. Interesting. All right. A goal of yours.
All right. I said I want the land. My goal, or I want the land to remember it is loved. I want to feed my family and friends and infuse love into their food, feeding not just the body but the spirit. Love that was given to me, passed down. I will pass it on for future generations.
Awesome. How did that spring about?
Huh?
How did that come about?
I feel like it's so connected to so many things, but I think that being able to grow your own food is really important when you think about sovereignty, self-sovereignty, and community sovereignty. And I lived on a farm for a little while, but the land that I'm living on now used to be a farm, and I won't turn it. I don't think I'd have a capacity to make it like a fully functioning farm, but I want to be able to grow things so that I can cook and share with my family and friends.
Awesome. All right. We got one last one, and I'll sign your books, put a stamp of approval on them, and we'll be done. Age is on page 91. What did not make sense at a young age does now. At 10, I realized I didn't need a lot of friends. At 12, I realized my temporary experience is shared by many. At 14, I noticed the importance of a functional two-parent household or home. At 15, education became much more important. At 16, the ball started rolling down the lane of achievements. At 17, I noticed life is not so pretty. At 18, it became harder to deal with congratulations. At 19, more effort meant alienation from life. At 20, questions were greater than before. At 21, there is a lot of introspective work. At 22, I have a head start and a great start. Anger is a nuisance. By 23, I want it to be prevented. By 25, I'm 25 now, jealousy won't be a bump in the road. By 30, I should be living well off of my gifts. By 40, I hope to have everything I wanted. By 50, maybe my name is on track for legacy. By 60, my desires might fade. By 70, I hope the youth learn from me. By 80, I hope I reach my heaven here first. By 90, I reach my century. So age. Not a terribly long amount of time left, but we can take 5 minutes. Age. The age you are now, or just kind of reflect on your younger years, and go decade by decade up, or 5-year spans. What do you see for yourself? What do you want to get rid of? What do you want to have for yourself? What do you hope to achieve? What are the qualities you want to embody? What are the qualities you want to get rid of? Let me know when you're ready. All right, age, what you got?
I'm 15 right now, so I'm just a freshman. 20 years, I see myself in college with a minor job in an environment. 25, I see myself still being in college, so doctorate, but I have a real job, working on my first college. 35, I have a home house, about 40 hours, I'm getting another property. Just off and off.
Oh, you want rental properties. What about the rest of your life? You're done at 50? That's when you're checking out?
That's too far.
Yeah, that's too far. Really, at my age, that's too far.
I had written this when I was like 20, maybe? I went all the way up until 90. Where do you see yourself? What's your vision? All right, what's yours? You're next. What you got?
I'm only 16 right now, so like, I don't know. I don't even write nothing. I don't know.
That's okay. Well, based off of what you've heard, what are some ideas you might form?
Like when I get out of high school, I want to go to college. And when I go to college, I want to go. Okay, I want to go to college. So that's like a little 4 years I think. To become an adult. And then after college, I'm gonna just do like that. Like getting my money.
Age, what you got? What you got? Are you doing rock, paper, scissors? I don't know. Shoot.
You went first last time, so I'm up.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I said 28. I feel like I've lived many lifetimes. 38. Not so caught up in being busy. 48. Finally wrote a book. 58. A rebirth of sorts. 68. Teaching. 78. Guiding. Laughing. 88. Returning to the earth.
Oh, that's when you're checking out?
Huh?
That's when you're checking out? I just find that funny. All right, that's lovely. I appreciate that. Where did that come from?
I think what I was thinking about most was like, I still have so much to learn, and being in a position where we're often teaching people, it feels so like I feel so incomplete in terms of what I know. Like I know that I feel like the more I go, the less I know. So I feel like when I'm older, I'll have more
Yeah.
to teach. So like everything is preparing me for that.
Yeah. Sweet, sweet.
At 30, I was uncertain. At 40, I knew money was not the answer. At 50, I realized success is love and friendship. At 60, I finally found my power and my worth. At 70, I hope to be happy. By 80, my stuff will be packed and given away so I can be free from the burdens. And by 90, I will have my passport filled.
Sweet.
62. I'm old.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
A lot of grief. A lot of grief, and a lot of feelings of powerlessness.
Mm-hmm. I see. That's powerful. I hope you got something out of this today, or many somethings for this, hour and a half. But yeah, so I signed and autographed all of those books. You got a stamp of approval on each of them. My goal is to reach schools with this stuff too. I want these into the classes for literature to do the very thing you did here with forming goals, learning emotion regulation, practicing or learning different ideas and philosophies and so on. And I also want it to be put into programs such as, with the Erie County Restorative Justice. And it could be applied to many things. But here I hope I taught you how to use the books. It's not just something to read and leisure, but something you can actively use to self-improve.
Have you read a lot of Paulo Coelho?
No.
Just read like his books or a few of his books.
children's books. I'm anticipating, I really want to move into turning that one into like a self-help graphic of sorts. And that way I can kind of touch on the younger audience, still push the same messages,
Yeah.
but I'm having it in a different delivery so that it hits people a little different at certain ages.
Yeah.
And right now, that's the goal.